So maybe you can give some advice to some people who might be looking at this, especially banks, and obviously everybody is being pushed now. You should be working with fintechs. So I'd like to switch gears, and maybe you can give some advice to companies because you have open APIs, you work with some fintechs. Maybe you can talk a little bit about what you would suggest to them for, what they should keep in mind when working with those types of third parties.
Sure. Probably the thing that as a fintech you most need to keep in mind is that your financial services partner, the people who ultimately are running the rails for an API and such, um, the restrictions that they live inside of are fairly inflexible and fairly opaque. It's often the case that we can't even tell you why we're saying no, sometimes because of a legal restriction where we actually can't, the customer can't tell you why we're doing something we're doing to your account. And so a lot of when we talk about open banking, the word open is a very strange word in an industry that most of the governance laws have secrecy in their name. That so open means something very different to financial services, and it's evolving very quickly. And you cannot always make the assumption that you or your integrator providers or that everyone in the chain may have very little control over how open banking really is.
Mm-hmm.
And it's important to anticipate how that's going to affect you as a business. And if things change, which frequently banks have no ability to keep things from changing out from under themselves, and they pass along that change to the people connected to them,
Mm-hmm.
how you'll absorb those changes as you go along. Building very flexible systems so that you're able to react to changes that you didn't have any say in is
Mm-hmm.
very important. And it's not just because banks want to mess with you. I promise that it's not.
Okay.
But building out that flexibility is really important. And so the cleaner you can make code and the easier you can make it to change, which
Mm-hmm.
account you're connected to and how the keys get passed and what the state machine is that goes through the phases of account creation. The easier you can make it to modify those in a sturdy way and then go back through and audit it to demonstrate that you've met a new requirement, the
Mm-hmm.
better your life will be.
Mm-hmm.
A lot of design at the beginning saves you a lot of headache later in this
Mm-hmm.
industry.
Okay, so that's really good advice for the fintech companies that are looking to work with the banks. So that's interesting.